Okay. What's up, guys? This is Evil here, and today I'm gonna showcase you guys my second take on my Dragunity deck list. Um, before I get this deck portfolio underway, there are things that I wanna address. Okay, so the first time that I did a deck profile for this deck, I didn't give it like too much thought onto it. Like me and my friend just theory crafted and thought to ourselves, let's just make Juggernautics with the new Juggernautics guys that got released in Ghost of the Past, and we didn't give our decklist that much thought. Sure, the decklist it worked out fine. It still is good, but it wasn't great at all because we didn't really take into consideration the current meta. I mean, ever since Ghost of the Past came out, the meta it became a little bit more diverse compared to the meta that were before in Ghost of the Past, because Ghost of the Past it just didn't have just Dragunity support guys. Like the Remus and the Legatus and the new Dragunity guys there are currently being used in Dragon Link's deck as well, and we didn't really taken that into consideration because the new Dragunity guys, I said this in the first Dragunity deck profile that I did. The new Dragunity guys, they are just really good. Like it just didn't make pure Dragunity consistent. It made other Dragon Link decks more consistent, and it improved the speed of those decks as well. So on my second take on my Dragunity, I thought that, well, might as well take it into consideration the current meta, and I took out all cards that were in the first list, take those out, and then put some new cards in on my second take for my Dragunity. Alright, so with that, all of those out of the way, I'm just gonna show you guys my updated list for my Dragunity. Alright, so for the Dragunity Ring base, there are 4 cards in the form of 2 Standards, the 1 copy of Ducks, and the 1 copy of Legatus. Okay, so in my large Dragunity list, I played 3 copies of this card because in that video, I said, oh my god, Legatus is so broken. It's an 18 beater on the board. It is searchable, and it's an extender, and it can sometimes pop up your opponent's back row as well. But I realized that you really only need one copy of this guy to start up your play. Where if you play 3 copies of this guy, the other 2 copies that are still in your main deck, well, it's not really doing anything. It's that it's just a free summon extender in your hand, and that's about it. And in reality, all in all, this card is good, but you only need 1 copy of it. To be honest, like you only need 1 copy of this card, summon it, and then extend, and that's all you need. Okay, the 2 copies of Senators, I mean, Senators is good, but only during the early game, like mid to late game, Senator, it doesn't really do anything because you're most likely not going to have a Dragunity card in order to get this card effective result. Like this card is only good like when you open it. In assuming you have a Dragunity card in order to go with it. I feel like Ducks is far more superior compared to the Senators, because Ducks, unlike the Senators, it is almost always live. Like during the early game, show opening with Senator is better, but towards the late game, Ducks is a whole lot better because this is almost always live during the mid to late game because your graveyard is set up already. Like, but also on resource wise, Ducks is better compared to the Senators as well because you need to normal summon this card and the Dragunity card, to go with it. So that's you're using 2 cards out of your 5 card opening hand. So which brings your hand size down to 3. And if this get hand trap like imperm or something, well, it doesn't. You just neg 1 yourself. I still feel like Dux is a little better compared to this in that regard. And funny enough, this deck it does lose to Infirm and Better quite a bit compared to the other hand-traps like the Ash, Phantasma. I mean, it still does lose to Nibiru, but you're probably gonna have, if your opening hand is strong enough, you're gonna have a Crystal Wing to stop the Nibiru. So yeah, Nibiru isn't that really much of a concern if you can make Crystal Wing on your fifth summon. Okay, so moving on with the broken Dragunity tuners. Okay, 3 copies of Remus. I said this on my first Dragunity deck profile, and I'm gonna say it again. This card is so broken. Like, this card, it's a searcher, it's an extender, opener, starter, all combined into 1 card. Like, this card is so very, very good. Like, if you count 3 copies of this, the 3 copies of Ruby and the Terror Ruby, well, you're playing 7 copies of Dragon Ruby in your main deck, which increases the consistency of this deck. Just getting into Dragon Ruby in your deck. Like, this card is very, very good. Like, it pretty much solved the consistency of this deck when it came out, and that is, very, very good. 3 copies of Flanks, and 2 copies of Coos. Okay, so in the third Dragunity deck profile that I did, I only copied 1 copies of each for this card because I thought they were bricks, but Barca is a good card. And these 5 cards, these 5 tuners make Barca like really, really broken. I mean, Barca is basically a soul charge for this deck, and soul charge is so good that it is stuck on my ban, and Barca is basically soul charge 2.0. So that's why I increase the ratio of the tuners by playing 1 more Coos and 2 more Flanks back in. Like, these are not only good for the burger play, and anytime you have a Dragunity and any of these, and if you have a Remus and any of these tuners, well, that's particularly combo. Like, this card is basically this card fodder with the Dragunity and the Remus if you open them, and the faster that these cards go to the graveyard, the better it is for this deck. So that's why I increase the ratios over the Coos and the Flanks. Flank is more superior compared to the Coos, because Coos you can only use for synchroning into Dragunity monsters, where Flank is just a generic tuner. So that's why I'm playing 3 Flanks and not 2. Okay, moving on with the Dragunity Dragon Extenders. They are 2 copies of Leviathan and 1 copy of Leviathan and 1 copy of Mistletoe. These cards are also very, very good because they do not have a hard once per turn on their summon effect. So yeah, that's pretty much what makes it very, very broken. Like, you can rinse and repeat, and do it over and over again, considering you have the resources to do so. Alright, moving on with the generic Dragon Extenders. 2 copies of Adai's Revolution Dragon. In this deck profile, I'm not playing Dark Worm, so that's why I'm only playing 2 copies of this card and not 3. Because, I mean, the Dark Worm package is still very good, but like I said in the first Dragon deck profile, the Gate 0 is just an awful card right now. And the Dark Worm, this deck already has so many extenders in the main deck when Ghost of the Past came out, and I don't really want to play the Dark Worm because of that. But this card is still really, really good in the deck to justify my theory that you still need to play 2 copies of this card in the main deck, because this card is basically on another 2 copies of Gear in your main deck, because on this card can by using his Pendulum skill effect, you skill it, destroy it, and then bring back Gator, and then use Gator's effect again. Like, this guy in general is really good, even without the Dark One package. The Tempest and the Darkness Metal, I mean, the Tempest is not used really as an extender in this thing. This is basically a searcher if you open Goldslug, which gets you another extender out of your deck if you by using Tempest effects. That's the main reason why he's there. But this guy can be used as an extender if you really need it to be. And Darkness Metal, well, you are playing Dragon, so yeah, you need to play Darkness Metal Dragon. I mean, ever since the errata, people have been taking this card out, even in Dragon decks, but even with the errata, that one effect to Spirit Summon Dragon from your hand to graveyard, that's all you need to extend. So I think that's fair enough to play the card in the main deck, because you're playing Dragon, so why would you not play Dragon's Metal Dragon? It's just that good. Okay, now for the Bix Extenders, Zephyros and 2 copies of Baby Rock. These are basically Dragunity cards in the main deck, because Gator can search all derivatives and then discard it at the same time. So these cards are basically three more copies of searchable extenders in the deck. Like, all 3 of those cards are really good. Okay, moving on. The Emerald Fish package, which are the Luxury and the Goliath. This is part of your ending board, because the Goliath, you summon it off of Alpi from your deck or hand if you open it, and this is gonna lock your opponent from summoning in the extra deck, and then this card will lock them out of spell. So you're basically locking your opponent out of two mechanisms, which are summoning from the extra deck and the second one being spell. So they literally cannot play anymore Yu-Gi-Oh. Like if you're going first and manage to do the full combo, which results in a Savage Dragon, Atrunner, or the Crystal Wing, Spears, Goliath Luxury, where you automatically won game 1. Alright guys, now to the hand traps. Okay, the ratios of the hand traps this time around, it changed quite a bit. Okay, so 6 hand traps in the main deck, in the form of 3 copies of Phantasme and 3 copies of Nibiru. Okay, so I am not playing Ashes in the main deck. I thought about Lancia, but I feel like Lancia is more justified in the side deck, because it is not going to be always live, because Lancia is not really good against Rogue, and it's okay versus the Mirror Match and I guess the Dragon Link. But versus Dragon Link, I feel like they can still combo off if you Lancia and Dragunity. Well, nobody plays Dragunity, because it is still very much, even with the new Dragunity support card the archetype has gotten, it is still best tier 2, consider Rogue if you may. Alright, so these 6 hand traps. Well, I am not playing Ashes anymore, because I mean, Ash is still the very I still like Ash, considering the fact that it is a universally best hand trap, but it is not very good versus Dragon Lane, because that deck has so many extenders where just dropping the one Ash to stop that one card, it's not gonna either A, stop their turn, or B, stop them from extending. And these 2 cards, all in all, it gets you something in return. Like if you're going second and then you versus Dragon Link and they're continuing to combo up, Well, if you drop the Phantasma at the right time, it gives you a buy on the board, and you got the Mulligan in your hand. Like, that's very, very good. And then the Nibiru, it does the same thing, except that this can wipe their entire board. It dropped at the right time. Like, Percy Dragonlink, if you have both of these cards, and they have a Crystal Wing on board, which is their first form of interruption, Percy Dragonlink, well, they have the Crystal Wing, and they could continue to extend when they have the Pesty and the Alfie on the board, and then at Channeling 1, you attempt to activate Phantasma, and if they continue to be bad, and then negate the Phantasma with the Crystal Wing, well, you just Nibiru their whole board. So, and then they lose because they literally have to pass. And overall, like, I want to like increase my chances of winning versus the Dragonlink matchup, because it is the best meta deck right now, and the Nibiru's and the Phantasma, those two cards are, I feel like, is the best way to effectively to increase your chance of winning versus that matchup. So that's why I'm playing the Nibiru's and the Phantasmas in the main deck. Okay. Alright, so those are the monsters, I guess. Now for the spells. The 4 copies of Dragunity. If you count the 3 of Remus, you're playing 7. So yeah. Dragunity is very, very good, especially in Dragon decks. Like, it might actually get banned again. And if it does get banned, I'm gonna be very, very sad. Very sad boy indeed. 1 glow and 1 lance, cause to support the Dragunity League monster in the form of Brabus. Like, if you're playing this deck, you need to play these cards. Like, these 2 cards are basically more copies of Dragunity monsters that is searchable and help you extend. So yeah, if you wanna put these 2 cards in the form of monsters, there are more copies of Phalanx and the Coos. So yeah, like Glow is really, really broken. Like, it is a very, very good card. Lance is good too, and both of these cards, it gives you extension by going through the Harky Fireworks play, so that you can continue to extend and then build up your play and board. Monster Reborn and the Ghost Arc. I mean, these 2 cards are basically limited staples in this deck. By far, Ghost Arc, Venice Tempest, and it's a +1, and the Monster Reborn is just a 3 card in the form of extenders. And the last 3 cards to make this a 40 card deck, because main deck currently right now at this time is 37. So the last 3 cards, I give it a lot of thought. Like, I thought about still playing part of Prosperity to further increase the deck's contingency, but the more I thought about it, like, I want to fully utilize my extra deck. Part of Prosperity in theoretically is a part of Desire by banishing cards from the extra deck, but I want to use all of the cards in my extra deck. So I decided not to play Prosperity this time around. I mean, Prosperity is still a very, very good card in the deck. I just don't want to use it this time around. And if you account the Remus, the Dragunity, if you open it, like, the consistency of getting the Dragunity now with the Remus, it has gotten way a little bit more higher. So to compensate that, to increase my chances of getting into Dragunity or the Remus a lot more faster, I thought about playing Cards of Consonance by pitching a tuner to the graveyard, which is a resource, and turboing through the deck by 2 cards with Cards of Consonance. But Cards of Consonance is a really situational card, I feel like, and speed and consistency I mean, they're really good Yu-Gi-Oh terms to use in this deck, but I feel like uh, I don't really need them. What this deck does need, in case you go first, is still out the opposing board. Like Birthday Dragon Link going second, on Shadow Invoke going second for this deck is very impressive, especially the Dragon Link matchup and the Shadow matchup, because Shadow Invoked or all that they gonna have a Dragoon, a form of negation, possibly in the form of Burrow Savage Dragon, and then interruption in the form of spears if you're playing versus a Dragon Link matchup, and Dragoon and Winda for the Shadow Eldritch Invoke matchup. It is very hard for this deck to break. So in order to combat versus those cards and the matchup, I decided to put in 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Yes, contingency is still a main issue for the deck, but like I said, the Remus, the 3 copies of Remuses, the Dragon Risk, if you can get to it, it basically serves the issue. The speed with consonant, the deck doesn't really need it, because the consonants can set up the graveyard for you, but if you don't have tuner, yes, sometimes it happens. It's under the big up that card, and I want to combat. I want to play a card that combat versus every matchup, and Forbidden Droplet it came into mind. I know that this card is expensive, but if you guys have it, I feel like in every main deck that you guys are planning to play, you need to play this card. Like this card is so good due to the fact that it overshadows Dark Lord No More. Yes, Dark Lord No More. It particularly, especially it shuts down your opposing's entire board, but you don't get to kill them the turn that you use it. Where this card, if you use it, you can still kill them. And this card, it does not target, and it has a form of monster negation, just like the Dark Lord No More does. And the fact that you have to discard monsters from your hand to the graveyard is the key term why I choose to play this card. Like let's say you have this along with the tuner, like and the dogs or the dragon ruby or something. Boom, that's full combo right there. Like going second, they have a full board with an interruption and then negate. You start your play by playing the droplet, teaching those 2 tuners that might get stuck in your hand. Negate the Burrow Savage, the mark of a Dragoon or Winder or something, and then play the Dragon Robin, teach a card, such like this, and boom, that's full combo right there. Sure, you do lose on 3 cards by doing that play, but just dropping this and then stopping those 2 interruptions or negates, if you will, that is all you need for this deck to like fully go off. I know droplet is expensive, I know this, but if you guys have it, please take the card into consideration to be played in the main deck. Like, card is very good. It has many utilities in any form of deck that you guys are willing to play. Like, it is such an impactful card too as well. Okay, so that is a main deck. It is a 40 card main deck. 40 is the magic number. Okay, now for the extra deck. The extra deck, it didn't really change much except for a few cards. Okay, the 5 synchros, or as I like to call them, the big 5. 1 copy of Gideon, 1 copy of Burka. I mean, I said that this card is soul charged, but 1 is all you need. 1 copy of Afrener. Cards are very good. It's also good. It has a monster negation on the board, and if your opponent somehow gets to like get over this card or get rid of it, well, their back row it gets wiped out. Borrow roll Savage Dragon in the form of generic negation, and the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is a beautiful ghost right now. Like it's so pretty and beautiful. Okay, so yeah, there is a reason why I call these Spy Synchros the Big Five, because if you're planning on playing this deck or are playing the deck already, you need to play those 5 cards. Like you absolutely need it. It is almost a 5-card mandatory staples in the deck. Okay, now for links. The Guard Dragon package in the form of LP Pesty. These are very broken. Like there is a reason why Agor Pen got banned, because due to the fact that it is such a broken card. And one of these 2 cards, if not both, might join the ban list dungeon pretty soon, because it makes dragons, which is one of the most impactful and powerful dragon types in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!, even more that broken. Okay, Hockey Firebrax, which is a beautiful ultimate right now. Okay, Hockey Firebrax, anytime if you have the hand to go into this card is basically another copy of Romulus in the extra deck. Or if you just happen to have the glow or the lance, well, that just guaranteed Hockey Firebrax play. This guy is really good in the deck, considering the fact that even though it's not a dragon, it's still very good if you manage to bring it out. Romulus, I mean, you bring Dragunity, and this is the archetype Lake Monster, so you need to play it. Romulus is very good. Okay, 2 copies of Spears. The main reason why I'm playing 2 copies of Spear is due to the fact that this card it plays around Nibiru. If you don't happen to have a Crystal Wing, in order to like back up your play, but because this card gets you into a resource if it gets Nibiru, and this card is another form of interruption that does not target. So that's why I feel like the 2 copies of Spears, it is not mandatory or needed to play this card too, but I just like it. Having the fact that that I'm playing 2 Spears in the extra deck. You guys don't have to play 2. I just like the card too. Okay, Triple Reverse Dragon, you need this for the combo, but the upper pistol play, and eventually link climb up to the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, a Link 4 monster. This guy is very good. It's an extender, and then in a sense, if the monster that you bring back with this card gets to leave the field, well, they go to the bottom of the deck. So this is an extender and a resource management card, all in one. So card is really good. Borolo's Borosword Dragon. Okay, I am solely playing this card to the fact that going first or second in the matter, if your board gets wiped or if you happen to have a Forbidden Droplet and somehow your hand is good enough to extend into this card, well, you just OTK it. So yeah, and then this deck can easily OTK because it is technically, in theory, a Dragon Link deck, because the combos, the extenders, and the plays that you do it almost mirrors of a Dragon Link deck. Like there's a reason why I call Dragunity is Dragon Link 2.0. Like it is just that good. Yeah, but what the Dragon Link deck, the normal Dragon Link deck, does not have access to is this card. This card is still very broken. Like it was very good like back in the day. It's not since the dawn of time. This card is still very good. Like dragons, they're broken because of this card. This card is the original back in the day LP. So yeah, that pretty much rounds up my updated and revamped version of Dragunity. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next Dark Profile video or content. So yeah, this is Eva Boy signing out. Peace out, guys. Peace out.